Tax day is rapidly approaching. If you don't think you can pay the IRS, what do? Here to discuss this taxing problem is my partner, Mike Solomon.
Hi, Lori.
So April 15th is almost upon us, the dreaded day. What if you don't have enough money to pay your taxes when it's time to file?
Well, no matter what, always file your return by April 15th. Even if your tax return shows you owe money and you don't have the money to pay it, file the return, or if you don't have enough information, then file an extension. It's a Form 4868. You get an automatic 6 months extension. Because if you don't file the return on time or you don't file an extension, not only are you still going to owe the taxes and you're still going to owe interest, you're going to owe a lot more penalties, including a penalty for filing your return late. So you don't want to do that.
Yeah, they get you all over the place. Right. So what can we do to reduce tax penalties?
Well, there are only a few choices, but one of them is you can file a request to pay your taxes over an installment period. And that'll reduce your penalties. It won't reduce your tax, and you'll still owe interest. But if you file a Form 9465, you can request to pay your taxes in an installment. It's better to file it with your return, but if you file it after you file your return, that's fine also.
Okay. So is this a do-it-yourself kind of a thing, or is this something that you need a professional to help you with?
Well, you don't need a professional, but I'm going to advise you to sit down with a tax advisor or an attorney to go over the form and make sure you do it right. It's not a complicated tax form, but it's still a tax form. So it's complicated nonetheless. And secondly, you want to see if you're going to have an ongoing problem. You know, this might not just be a one-time event, it might be more than that, and therefore you want to sit down with somebody. But assuming you file the return, there's some basics to the return. You know, number one, you figure out your tax that you owe. Number two, take that, divide it by 72. That's your monthly payment. Now you can pay more than that, but that's the minimum. The minimum you have to pay. Then you pick a date. You know, somewhere between the 1st and the 28th, the day you're supposed to pay the tax, and then make those payments on those dates. Okay?
Yeah, definitely do that.
Don't forget that. And then you send the form in with a filing fee. It's $140, or if you do a debit card, they'll let you do it for $52.
Okay, so a little bit less if you do it automatically.
That's right.
They don't have to chase you for the money, probably.
That's right.
What if I can't afford the payments, you know, over this time frame?
Well, again, you know, still file the return, but if you can't make those payments over that installment period, then you definitely need to sit down with a tax advisor and work it out and see what you can do, because the problem's not going to go away. The IRS is always going to be there, and they're eventually going to come after you. So you want to solve the problem some way. But if you can't afford to make the payments, and it's $10,000 or less, you can file an installment payment over 36 months, and you're guaranteed approval. But if it's more than $10,000, you fill out the form, you send it in, and the IRS will get back to you within 30 days or so and tell you whether they accept the deal. Okay. And then if they accept the deal, make sure you make the payments.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right. So no one likes tax day. If you get into a bind and you owe more taxes than you can afford, the worst thing to do is ignore the problem. It will not go away. Protect yourself by following Mike's advice or call him at the number coming up next. We'll be right back.
Call Solomon, Steiner, and Peck at 1-888-236-5173 for more information, or to schedule a speaker for your organization. Or log on to www.ssnplaw.com.
Thanks for joining us. On next week's show, we'll have a lot more great information for you. So until that day comes, please remember to make the most of your golden opportunities.
Would you like to join our kitchen conversation? All you have to do is call toll-free 1-877-765-1543 and leave us your question, name, and phone number. Or log on to www.golden.tv for all the latest information and show updates.
Golden Opportunities is paid for by Elder Productions.